Imagine waking up to an ordinary morning, the streets calm, the usual hum of life outside. But within hours, everything changes. Roads vanish under torrents of rushing water. Homes once filled with laughter stand empty and submerged, and the city of Valencia, a beacon of Spanish culture, becomes a symbol of tragedy. This is not just any flood. It's the deadliest disaster to strike Spain in decades. A storm that transformed familiar landscapes into scenes of devastation. How could such a catastrophe happen? And why was no one warned in time? As of October 31st, 2024, the death toll stands at an unimaginable 158, with rescue teams still working tirelessly. Yet, with each passing day, the number of those unaccounted for rises, leaving Spain gripped by sorrow, anger, and a painful search for answers. In just 8 hours, a year's worth of rain fell across parts of Valencia. Streets transformed into rivers, homes turned into islands, and families found themselves trapped. Torrential rains and flash floods engulfed the city, with the worst of the devastation stretching from the neighborhoods in La Torre to the rural reaches of Udiel, nearly 85 kilometers inland. In La Torre, first responders discovered 8 bodies, including a local policeman who had tried to save others. Only blocks away, a 45-year-old woman was found lifeless in her home, caught off guard by the sudden flooding. Thousands are still waiting for help. And in places like Udiel, where the Magro River burst its banks, waves of floodwater up to 3 meters high surged through single-story homes, claiming lives as people struggled to find high ground. In Udiel alone, at least 6 people died, many of them elderly or disabled, unable to escape. Communities now stand as ghosts of what they were, with mud-covered streets, wrecked homes, and entire livelihoods destroyed. Across Valencia, residents are left without power, clean water, and basic supplies. Frustrated locals accuse the government of responding too slowly, with many claiming that the lack of early warnings turned the streets into deadly traps. Nearby in Paiporta, supermarket shelves emptied as residents grabbed whatever essentials they could carry. Maribel Albalat, the mayor, voiced frustration, citing 62 deaths in her town alone, where elderly residents drowned trying to reach safety. For Antonio Molina, survival came down to a single pillar on his neighbor's porch. With water up to his neck, he held on, hoping it would hold against the rushing flood. Antonio's story is tragically common in Godalita. Residents are fed up with inadequate drainage systems and feel abandoned by authorities who, they say, allow construction on flood-prone land. Spain's eastern regions are a major hub for the country's citrus industry, providing 2/3 of Spain's oranges. But these fields are now lost, devastated by relentless floodwaters that drown crops and ruin the soil. With roadways washed out and railway tracks destroyed, the connection between Valencia and Madrid has been cut. It could be weeks before high-speed trains resume. The economic damage is staggering. But worse is the loss of life and the destruction of homes, businesses, and agricultural lands that families have worked for generations. In Madrid, political tensions are high. The central government faces accusations of negligence for not acting quickly enough to warn residents or mobilize rescue teams. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez attempted to calm the nation by urging people to stay indoors and follow safety protocols. But for those grieving the loss of loved ones, the government's response is too little, too late. Experts are now pointing to the role of climate change in creating this deadly scenario. Climate Central reported that an atmospheric river, a corridor of moist air from the unusually warm Atlantic, fueled the storm's intensity. This low-pressure system tapped into a band of extreme moisture, causing rainfalls that were 50 to 300 times more likely due to human-driven climate change. Scientists warned that as the oceans warm, atmospheric rivers like this one are becoming more frequent and intense, posing new challenges for communities unprepared for such violent weather. As Spain struggles to rebuild, This flood serves as a stark reminder of the need for greater preparedness in the face of climate change. Messages of support have poured in from around the world. Pope Francis sent his condolences, expressing his prayers for the people of Valencia and neighboring communities as they endure this profound tragedy. With so much lost, these words of support remind the people of Valencia they are not alone. Volunteers and rescue teams continue to work around the clock to bring relief to the suffering, with some residents risking their own safety to help others. As Spain mourns its worst flood-related disaster in modern history, the nation faces a sobering question. Will we be ready next time? The floods have shown the immense power of nature and the fragility of human life. But they also remind us that we must be better prepared, with stronger warning systems and a commitment to addressing the root causes of climate change. To the people of Valencia, to those who lost loved ones, homes, and a sense of security, know that the world stands with you. The road to recovery will be long, but from the depths of this tragedy, a stronger, more resilient future can emerge. Subscribe for more in-depth stories on the world's most pressing issues. Together, we can make a difference.